Hello and welcome to our daily review at PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. It is Saturday, July 8th, and I'm really doing the review for uh, obviously Friday, July 7th. And we'll look at how the week's playing out too. So um, this is the S&P 500 and it's the SPX and Thinkorswim and a lot of other platforms, but the So I've been toying around with sub studies and really trying to get my True Momo indicator tuned up better, and so I think I'm doing that, and I'm playing around with some RSI stuff. So that's relative strength index at the bottom, but don't there's nothing to focus on there. I'm always constantly looking for a better edge. So but in the meantime, this True Momo indicator is really the latest, greatest, and I run it across multiple platforms to be honest with you. So um, it's in some ways it's not the basis of our automatic trading system, but it's engaged in it. So let's just get on with it. This is the S&P, and it's been red bars lately. I meant to change that back to I've got dark red and dark green, dark red and light red, dark green and light green. I'm going to switch them just back to red and green. It's just easier for me. So anyway, still a red candle, but still bullish on the EMAs. Technically bearish on the True Momo indicator, and but it's all still bullish on the weekly over here on the left hand side. So Um, take it for what it's worth. I think we can still get some sell side down from here. Although I will tell you, we had some interesting price action on Friday, and I'll get into that when we look at the automatic trading system. But this is an inverted hammer candlestick, and sometimes that can be a signal for upside from there. So we'll see. Momentum right now, which is really the basis of True Momo, is down. So on the daily chart, and we could delve into let's just do it into what the hourly chart looks like on the right hand side over here, and then this is just the daily with average true ranges 1, 2, and 3. So we can kind of see the where the price is moving, but generally speaking, the same thing. So you can see we actually pulled back hard um, in the last hour of trading on Friday, and but we do actually have that's a green signal on True Momo. Not to say it's going to happen because it could roll over here, but that is green. So in the short term, we could see a bounce come out of the S&P 500. Going back to the daily and the weekly, let's look at the Dow. So the Dow's been down, but it is, and that's technically a sell signal on the Dow. So I need to be looking into some positions I might have that are Dow related. I'll look at all my individual positions, but I also wanted to point out literally just the other day, and I did. This is a monthly study. I call it the Harvard Gold Line, and this is the Harvard Blue Line. And this thing pulled down and pulled up and closed that candle right. Actually, I think it's the candle before it. It's this candle right here. Closed above that line for the first time. It didn't happen here. If we go back on the chart, it didn't happen just like it's on purpose. It didn't happen here because that was the first day of the next month, not this month. And it didn't happen here, and it did happen here. So that is January of 23 is the last time it closed above the gold line for a month. And you can actually see, this is kind of what I'm getting at. When we get back here and everything starts to just trend higher off of those gold lines, you get way far away from it, and price continues to move higher through all that. So there's a point to this that I'm going to get to real quick, is the sell signal after a monthly close above that line is a close below the blue line. So I can actually hold anything right now comfortably as long as it doesn't close below this line, and even if it does, I'll just get out. So just to start talking about RSI, and I mean, this is literally buried in the regular RSI zone. So this is potentially a reversal zone anyway. And yet we'll see. And because we're up from it here and could go up there, or we can just roll over here. And again, been inside this box for a little while, and we actually were inside more of this box. We do have this tail, which could be head and shoulders, which would put our target way up here off the screen. So that's not wishful thinking. That is potential, and I'm not saying it's necessarily probable, but it's in the cards. Those are real signals in the market. So we'll have to see literally how this thing plays into next week. I don't like the negative Momo. All right, the Russell, going on too long here. Let's pick things up a little bit. The Russell has had negative momentum here for a bit with a little slight pullback up, even though it is really positive on the weekly chart, coming up out of really what's been the doldrums. So, literally this thing could take off and we could start seeing higher pricing from here. And again, we did. We saw a close above those Harvard lines at the end of last month. So, and then we've had nothing but a pullback into it. And look at, this is actually a good study right here. Look at this line. That's the light blue line. The fact that this candle came all the way down here and then closed above that line, like it's on purpose, and then it took off from there into Friday. So Friday, it's interesting because the Dow actually plummeted in the last hour of trading. This may have too, but it held up. And this is a more bullish candle, because that little wick to the upside shows that it closed in the upper third of its whole range for the day. I mean, it looks like the upper third to me. Okay, and then the NASDAQ has been on fire and has taken a little bit of a rest, but it's also a doji candlestick, and anything can happen from here, but we are still bullish on the weekly time frame, less bullish on the daily time frame, and we'll just keep going. Oh yeah, I want to keep calling that out. July, 90% chance, or 90% of the last 10 years have gone up, and it's 3.99% over the 10-year period on average. So oil bounced higher. I actually have a stop set on oil, or else that wouldn't be there, and that's because it got so far gone down there that I went ahead and set a stop, and then it just reversed. It's funny how that works sometimes. But so that's good news. Oil is actually, well, it's good if you're a bullish oil. I'm also, look at the weekly chart. Now this is just the beginnings of the move, of the potential for the move. There's an awful lot of things that are still down. So, this is, it's fine, but you just got to watch it, and you got to be careful of your risk. Bonds, TLT, continue to go lower. Glad I got out of that the other day when the things, again, this is one of those where potentially you could have said, well, you could short there, and that's all right. I didn't. So bonds are an interesting animal these days. Look, it came down over here on the weekly chart to the lows from back on 227.23, and that's about where it landed. All right, and that's enough for that. Let's flip over to stockcharts.com, type in bullish, and get the bullish percent indexes. This is a free service. They do have paid services, but I find this pretty handy. So we're just measuring bullishness versus bearishness, and this thing didn't move. This is the industrials on Friday. The NYA went up by 1.28%. The transports are way in the nosebleed section, and we're watching that, but it didn't move on Friday. The NASDAQ up by 1.33%. The SPX, that's the S&P 500, up by 0.87%. And the OEX, which is the S&P 100, didn't move. The NDX also didn't move. So general bullishness through that period. It's been bearish in the last couple days though, so it's one of those things just to know kind of, it sure looks like things are moving higher, but we're certainly seeing some pauses right now. And then on to the automatic trading systems. This is the Dow, and we got some decent pop on Friday out of that thing for the first time in a bit. This is what it looks like on a 1 year basis. This is more like, I don't even know when this thing starts, but it's showing the recent quarter. So it's really this much of that chart. And this is the Russell, and we got a little pop on Friday. Really looking to get, obviously, back up into this zone and then beyond. And it's been a month or so since we've had that green dot, plus a month before that with that green dot. But when you add up all the months together, it looks like this. So our uptrend is still working. This is our equity, not the actual positions themselves. So it's the results of our trading. And then this one is the NASDAQ. It's still our favorite. However, this recent rout has been tough, and we didn't get we had a decent couple trades in there on Friday, but then we got a negative one there at the end. But when you add it all together for a year, that's what that one looks like. And then this is what I wanted to kind of point out. This is literally a 1 minute chart of the Dow, and I think this started right around 2 o'clock, or sorry, it's 12:45, 1:45 Eastern Standard Time. And look at, I mean, that is some serious selling. So just exactly what you need to really, I mean, for what it's worth, our accounts, we have a lot of things, and our value was way up, but then it pulled back. So we ended up being up for the day, but I've actually seen this happen before, and we come into Monday and everything pops back up where it was, and I get the value that I had. So that'll be interesting to see. To me, this looks like a follow-through play, that it's just enough to get everybody selling out on Friday so that they all go short for Monday, and then all of a sudden it rips your face off to the bullish side. But if you guys have followed me long enough, you know I'm more of a bull than a bear for sure. So that's what I got for this weekend review. Hopefully everybody's doing well, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.